Okay, first, given that the equation 5x squared plus 7x minus 3k equals to 6 has no real roots. So if you recall back, okay, one thing about AMath is you have to understand what you are doing, and then it's all in-depth understanding the equation. In eMath, it's very straightforward. eMath is, okay, I give you the quadratic equation, just solve and tell me what is the solution or what is the roots. Okay, so this is like, they tell you, okay, this is the equation. But if you notice, k, there is an unknown k inside. Usually, if you want to solve x, you only see number and x. But in AMath, you suddenly say, there's a k there. So what does that mean? So they're trying to tell you, okay, you are not able to solve this equation because it's not complete, because there's an unknown k. But they tell you that this equation has no real roots. Okay? So if they tell you it's no real roots, then you know that no real roots, discriminant should be less than 0. So let me just explain a bit on this discriminant. Actually, the discriminant comes from the quadratic formula. So you see, quadratic formula is minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. If I write in red pen, means it's the concept of the topic. It's not related to this question yet. So look at this. This is the quadratic formula to solve quadratic equation. And if you notice, the discriminant is actually hidden here. Hidden here, is inside here. So this discriminant telling us that if you find the value of this discriminant, you will know what kind of roots you have. So basically, we have 3 types, right? So if my discriminant b squared minus 4ac is more than 0, that means it's positive number. You think back, if you square root a positive, you get a positive number. Plus minus positive means you end up having 2 values. You understand? So when discriminant is more than 0, you will have 2 real and distinct roots. That means it's 2 different roots. Okay? And if inside, if it's a 0, square root 0 give me 0, plus 0 minus 0 give me the same value. Okay? So it means that my roots is equal. So when my discriminant is equals to 0, that means I have 2 real and equal roots. Okay? Then, what if my discriminant is less than 0, negative? Can you square root negative? Technically speaking, you can, because, but in eMath, you don't learn complex number or imaginary number. So square root negative in eMath syllabus, you will not evaluate. But so you cannot say no roots. Take note, you cannot say no roots. You will say no real roots. Okay? So b squared minus 4ac, when it is less than 0, that means negative. It means it is no real roots. Take note, you cannot say no roots. There are roots, but they are imaginary roots. So you have to say no real roots. So basically, you have these 3. These 3. Okay, the only time whereby there's a special case, number 4, is when you combine these 2 together. The discriminant is more than equals to 0. So when do you use discriminant more than equals to 0? When I tell you that it has real roots. Okay, if I tell you if it's real roots, then you will have to combine. Why? Because I have real roots, but I don't know whether is it distinct or is it equal. Then you will have to combine these 2 conditions. So technically speaking, total you have 4 cases. More than 0, equals to 0, less than 0, or more than equals to 0. Okay, it is not possible to have combined the second and the third. Why? Because less than 0 already means no real roots. So it's not possible to combine it with real roots. You understand? So you only have 4 cases. 4 cases. So now come back to this question. So now they are telling you that this equation has no real roots. So first, write out the equation first. Hi. Okay, 5x squared plus 7x minus 3k equals to 6. This is the equation. And as same like solving quadratic equation, you need to throw everything to the left hand side. So I have 5x squared plus 7x minus 3k minus 6 equals to 0. Next is always label out what is your a, what's your b, what's your c. So the a is the coefficient of x squared. So my a for this case is 5. The b is the coefficient of x. So for this case, my b is equals to 7. My c is a constant. Okay? So c for this case is negative 3k, negative 6. So list down your a, b, c. Then because they tell me it's no real roots, this equation has no real roots. So you have to say, okay, because you tell me that this equation has no real roots, so I will know that my discriminant will be less than 0, the third case over here. So then you will form this inequality, b squared minus 4ac less than 0, and solve the range of k. So my b squared minus 4ac less than 0. So let's work it out. This is 49, 20 and 3. So this is plus 60k. Okay, 20 and this one is plus 120 less than 0. Wait, let me double confirm. 4 times 5 times 3. So 60 minus plus correct. 4 times 5 times 6 is 120 minus plus correct. So we will end up having 60k less than, see, this 49 and 120. I'm going to bring it over because this is a linear inequality. So it's minus 49 minus 120. So I will have 60k less than minus 169. So my k is less than negative 169 over 60. Okay, and we will get k less than negative 249 over 60. Okay, so that will be the range. This is Sec 3 AMath, Sec 3 AMath. Okay, so this will be the range of k that fulfill that this equation has no real roots. So sometimes students ask, can I put it in proper fraction? Okay, for inequality, I will suggest that you put it in mixed number so that you will be able to see what are the integers on the left and on the right. Understand? No, remainder and factor theorem not yet. Okay. Today only equation and quadratic inequality and differentiation rate of change. Okay. You can see the title on my below my camera. You can see that I put quadratic inequality, discriminant, and rate of change. This is Sec 3 AMath. Okay. Okay. So I'm done with question 1. Let's move on to question 2. So over here they tell me, okay, find the range of values of k. Wait, cannot. For which the equation has real roots. So let's write out the equation first. So x squared plus 2kx plus k squared minus 5k plus 7 equals to 0. So this quadratic equation, they tell me that it has real roots. So remember, you see, when they tell me that it's real roots, but they did not tell me it's distinct or equal, then I will have to combine and you will end up having discriminant more than equals to 0. Okay? So first, let's see whether we need to simplify anything or not. Okay, now let's label our A, B, and C. A is the coefficient of x squared, for this case is 1. B is coefficient of x, which is 2k for this case. C is the constant. K squared, 5k, and 7. Take note, it is not x. So take note that k squared and k, they are constant. They are under constant. So it will be k squared minus 5k plus 7. So because they tell me it is real roots, I will decide that my discriminant is more than equals to 0. Okay? More than equals to 0. So it will be b squared minus 4ac more than equals to 0. Okay? So we're going to solve this inequality. Okay, so now we have 4k squared minus 4k squared plus 20k minus 28 more than equals to 0. Just nice, this one net off each other, so that's why I become a linear inequality. So I have 20k minus 28 more than equals to 0. So 20k will be more than equals to 28. K will be more than 28 over 20. So we can reduce it to the lowest term. 28 divided by 20, 7 over 5. So put it in mixed number, so it's 1 whole 2 over 5. Okay, so this is a special case, real roots. So take note, you will combine the first case and the second case, we get discriminant more than equals to 0. Okay? All good. Sorry, because we are learning math now, so those irrelevant comments will be muted and blah blah blah. Okay, because we do not want anyone to disturb the class. You want, you can ask question, okay? You can ask question. You can ask question about my question that I'm going through, but not other irrelevant question, okay? I have 2 moderator in the channel. If you get blocked or get muted, then that's too bad for you. Okay, let's move on. Next, question 3. Okay, so now this one is showing. Okay, so actually question 1, question 2 is pretty easy. Question 1, question 2 is as long as you you shift everything and then find out what's your A, B, and C, then you go and decide what's your discriminant depending on what's the property that they tell you. Okay, so question 3 is also the same thing. They tell you coincident roots. Coincident roots is just being innovative about their vocab lah. But this simply means that it is the same equal roots lah. It means it's equal. This is the same meaning as equal roots. Okay, so they say show that this equation has coincident roots when p equals to blah blah blah. So my equation is x plus 5 equals to p minus 3 over x. Okay, let's cross multiply first. Don't sub the p in first. Why? Because my right hand side now is currently a fraction. If you're going to sub fraction within a fraction, you make your life more complex. Understand? Graph above the x-axis means that it is always positive. If it's always positive, means your discriminant is less than 0. Because if it's always positive, it does not cut the x-axis. Does not cut the x-axis means no roots. Understand? Okay, so above the x-axis is always positive. It means that it is a happy face, a equals to more than 0, as well as discriminant is less than 0 because there has no roots. Okay, so now let's do our cross multiply. So x times x plus 5 equals to p minus 3. So I have x squared plus 5x minus p plus 3 equals to 0. So let's look at this. Now I can start my p equals to minus 13 over 4. Okay, I want to prove whether it has a coincident root. So I'm going to sub in the p first. So sub in p equals to negative 13 over 4. X squared plus 5x minus negative 13 over 4 plus 3 equals to 0. So x squared plus 5x plus 13 over 4 plus 3 equals to 0. So the behind is number. So we're going to key in minus minus is positive. So it's just 13 over 4 plus 3. So I will have x squared plus 5x plus 25 over 4 equals to 0. And because as a 4 denominator, right, and it's an equation. When it's an equation, I can time a constant throughout. So I'm going to time 4 throughout. So it becomes 4x squared plus 20x plus 25 equals to 0. By any chance, do you teach trigo? Not for today. Okay, teacher, how to determine if answer should be 1 region or 2 region? You're trying to say the quadratic inequality, right? The one which is this one, is it this one or is it this one? Agree? Are you asking for this one? Cheng, are you asking for this one? Cheng, are you referring to this one? Yeah, this is quadratic inequality. Don't worry, I will come back. I will come to that. This is quadratic inequality. We haven't come to that. Okay, so over here, this is quadratic equation, right? So I don't have to solve it. I don't have to solve it because your task is just to prove that it has equal roots. So remember, you want to prove that it is equal roots. Actually, all you need to do is, as long as you can prove that the discriminant is equals to 0, you have proved it. So you don't have to solve it. Don't solve it. Unless they ask you to find the roots. But no, this is just asking you to prove that it has equal roots. So I will just find my A equals to 4, my B equals to 20, my C equals to 25. So let's find out what's my discriminant. So take note, you cannot say discriminant equals to 0 because your task is to find out what is the value of your discriminant. Hi Minecraft. Not sure whether you can able to absorb today because today is AMath topic. Yes, Sec 3 AMath topic. Okay, so let's find a discriminant. So you will have to say b squared minus 4ac equals to, you have to find out what value. So b squared minus 4ac. So let's see. So it's 20 squared minus 4, and 25. And we get 0. You see, I have shown that discriminant is equals to 0. So you will say that since this b squared minus 4ac equals to 0. The equation has equal roots. Oh, okay, we must follow we must follow them. We must follow them and say, oh, coincident roots. Coincident roots. Shown. Just put the word shown, since they asked me to shown, right? Okay? So, common mistake of this one is students were, over here, they will say b squared minus 4ac equals to 0. Then after that, no such thing as 0 equals to 0. You don't do that. That's a presentation error. You understand? Which step can you skip? I don't think there's any steps that I can skip lah. Why you need to skip? You see what I did was I cross multiply rainbow. I never skip any step. I don't think it's necessary, or you can skip step. Sub this in, sub it in. After that, I just simplify to become a flat equation, and then find out what's my ABC. So there's no steps that you can skip. Then find the discriminant. I also never. This is necessary step. So equals to 0. Then you have to say, since discriminant is equals to 0, the equation has coincident roots. Shown. Rate of change is behind. After I finish this quadratic equation and inequality. Okay. So this is question 3 done. Okay. Let's move on to question 4. Okay, so find the range of values of k for which the line and the curve has real roots. So take note. This one is previous one is straight away is a quadratic equation, and then after that you find out what's the discriminant, correct? Then they want you to apply discriminant concept into a line versus a curve. A line versus a curve. So in this question, the line here, the equation of the line is y equals to x minus k. Okay, the curve here is y equals to kx, x plus 3. Okay, if you recall back, okay, simultaneous equation is trying to find what's the intersection point. Correct? So you also do simultaneous first. The first thing you do is do simultaneous. Okay, so since this one left hand side already both y, I can straight away say kx, x plus 3 is equals to x minus k. So then after that, throw everything to the left hand side and make it into ax. Put it into the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Put it into this form. So I'm going to kx squared plus 3kx minus x plus k equals to 0. Then same thing, label out your a, b, c. So your a is equals to k, your b is equals to 3k minus 1. See this one? Okay, maybe I show you why is it that it's 3k minus 1. So what I usually do is kx squared, I take out common factor x. So you see that you have 3k minus 1, then plus k equals to 0. Then it's easier for you to see what is your b. B is the coefficient of x. So my a for this case is k, my b is 3k minus 1, my c is equals to k. Then, because, see, they tell me real roots again, correct? So, since they tell me it's real roots, I will just b squared minus 4ac more than equals to 0. Okay? So, this means that you just need to do additional step. Just now the previous question is already in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Of course, sometimes need to shift a bit. But this one is you need to do extra step, doing simultaneous first, and then after that, same thing. Okay? So let's do b squared minus 4ac more than equals to 0. Okay, let's open up. So I will have 9k squared minus 6k plus 1 minus 4k squared more than equals to 0. So I have 5k squared minus 6k plus 1 more than equals to 0. Okay, so just now someone asked about the quadratic equality, right? So let me talk about inequality first. So if you notice, the concept is the same. It's always discriminant more than 0 equals to 0, less than 0, or more than equals to 0. It's just that a matter of whether you end up having a linear inequality or you end up in a quadratic inequality. So just now the question we have a linear inequality. So the first two questions was linear inequality. Means that it is k, only k to the power of 1. And that's just like solving linear equation. The k on the left hand side, the number on the right hand side. Correct? Very straightforward. Then now the question is, this is a quadratic inequality. So star star, this is a quadratic inequality. So how do you solve quadratic inequality? Okay, so in general, quadratic inequality, I will do on the side here. Example, okay, it's like solving quadratic equation. It's just throw everything to the left hand side, then right hand side is 0. Then you go and do factorization. So take for example, if I have x minus 5, x plus 4 more than equals to 0. So you know this is a quadratic inequality. So what you need to do is draw this, right? Then after that you have, if you're going to solve this, you get 4 and 5. So that means here is 4, here is 5. So take note, this is more than equals to 0. You take the horizontal line just like your x-axis. More than 0 means it's above, okay? So you will shade the corner. It means that the range will be x is less than equals to 4 or x is more than equals to 5. Okay? So let me give another scenario. So if it is x minus 5, x minus 4 less than 0. Okay? So you also draw the same thing. You saw 4 and 5. Less than 0 means below the x-axis, below the horizontal line. So that means it's in between. So it means it will be x between 4 and 5. So you basically only have two regions. Okay? If it's more than 0, that means you shade the two corners. If it's less, you shade the in between. So you only have two regions to shade. Did I answer the question for just now, someone who asked about the region thing? Understand? Someone just now asked, right? Yes, okay, good. Then I want to highlight on one thing. Hi. Okay, I'm going to highlight. Put where? I put here. See, I put here. Star, star. Take for example, okay, if let's say I have an inequality, okay, let's say this one is what? X squared minus 4. Wait, so x squared minus 9x plus 20. Imagine this one is like that. Okay, this is again a quadratic inequality. But do you notice that this is minus x squared? Okay, minus x squared, technically speaking, your graph should look like that. But please, never draw set face for your quadratic inequality. So I want you to make it happy. So how do you make it happy? So what you need to do is just multiply by -1. So multiply by -1 throughout, you get x squared minus 9x plus 20. And for inequality, the rule is when you multiply by negative, please flip the mouth. So now it becomes less than 0. Then it will be exactly the same like a quadratic inequality. So same thing, you will have x minus 4, x minus 5, x minus 4 less than 0. Then now you can draw happy face. You have 4, you have 5, less than 0 is here. So x is between 4 and 5. Understand? So basically, quadratic equality is actually very easy. Okay? All you need to do is just like quadratic equation, throw everything to the left hand side, make right hand side 0. Make sure that it's a happy face. If it's not a happy face, just do one additional step, which is multiply by -1, then change the symbol. Then it will just be like happy face. Then after that, it will just factorize, draw this diagram. If it's more than 0, shade the corner. If it's less than 0, shade the in between. That's it. You understand? Okay, so let's come back to solve this one. So I'm supposed to factorize this. So let's factorize this. Okay, this is solving equation, but for me is I use it for factorization. 5 minus 6 and 1. So I have k minus 1, 5k minus 1 more than equals to 0. Okay, so now with this, okay, I'm going to squeeze here. Hoi. See here. So with this, I will be able to draw my diagram, right? So I have 1/5 and 1. So of course, the smaller one on the left-hand side, then after that here. This is more than equals to 0. More than means I shade the corner. So therefore, answer is k less than 1/5 or k more than 1. Done. Can? No real roots, discriminant less than 0. Correct. Can you explain real root, equal roots, and all the other roots? I already explained in the first place, in the question 1. If you are late and you miss out this segment, please refer to the replay and then after that watch this. I'm not going to repeat because I still have other questions behind. Okay? I already explained the real roots, no real roots, all the discriminant thing already. So now I'm going to repeat now. Okay, so then next. Now they say hence or otherwise find the range of k for which for all real values of x. So let's see. So this one I will write kx x plus 3 more than x minus k. So I'm going to throw everything to the left hand side. So it will be k x squared plus 3kx minus x plus k more than 0. Take note, this one a bit tricky. They are trying to tell you your function is more than 0. This means that it is always positive. Agree? Okay? This means that it is always positive. So, when it's always positive, you have two conditions you need to fulfill. Yes, discriminant less than 0. Two conditions. First is the discriminant less than 0. Second condition that it must be a happy face. Happy face means it's a more than 0. So many students always remember the discriminant less than 0, but they forget that they also have to fulfill a second condition. So now let's label out what's my A, B, C. So my A is k, my B for this case is 3k minus 1, my C for this case is k. Correct? So first, let's find out my discriminant less than 0 first. But I don't have to repeat everything. If you notice, my discriminant over here is here already, correct? It's exactly the same. Since they use the word hence, means that they allow me to take reference from the top. So I don't have to repeat everything because if I'm going to repeat, the left hand side is all the same. It's only the symbol that will change. So I will just state that always positive discriminant is less than 0. I straight away can put k minus 1, 5k minus 1 less than 0. And to draw this one, I have 1/5 and 1. Less than 0 will be in between, correct? So my k will be between 1/5 and 1. But don't forget that I have a second condition, which is my a more than 0. So to fulfill my second condition right here, second condition, my a more than 0. Look at my a. A is k, so it means that my k must be more than 0. So technically speaking, I have these two ranges that I need to fulfill. So I have to find a range that fulfill both of them. So I'm going to draw a number line. I have 0, I have 1/5, and I have 1. K more than 0 means this direction. K in between. Then find out which is the common region. So the common region for this case is this part. So that's why final answer is K is between 1/5 and 1. Okay. So take note. So this one is you have actually two conditions that need to fulfill. Of course, some students ask me, need to do the second one, since already the answer is exactly the same as this one. This is just coincidence. that they happens to be using this one. Okay, but you still have to do the working to find out the range that fulfill both of these inequality. So always remember that you have two conditions you need to fulfill. Two conditions you need to fulfill. Okay, so I'm done with this question. Okay. Okay, let's move on to, okay, I still have two more questions, question 5 and question 6, before I move on to rate of change. Okay, now over here, find the range of k for which the line intersect the blah blah blah. And if you notice, actually the question here and there is always the same. I'm just showing it to you that the question is similar. So same thing, I will state that, okay, my line is, oh yeah, this one is not y. So my line is 2x minus y equals to 5. My curve is xy equals to kx minus 2. So I'm supposed to do simultaneous equation. This one is not as nice as just now that one. Just now straight away already y subject and y subject. But this one just shift. So maybe you can say this is your equation 1, this is your equation 2. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to say from equation 1, I'm going to make y the subject. So y will be equals to 2x minus 5. So I'm going to sub my equation 3 into my equation 2. Okay, so you're going to replace all the y to become 2x minus 5. So it's x, y equals to kx minus 2. Shift everything to the left hand side. 2x squared minus 5x minus kx plus 2 equals to 0. So over here, 2x squared, take out common factor x. I have minus 5 minus k plus 2 equals to 0. My a equals to 2. My b equals to minus 5 minus k. My c equals to 2. This time round, they tell me is 2 distinct roots. Okay? They tell me that it is 2 distinct roots. So it will be 2 distinct roots. My discriminant is more than 0. So let's solve it. So minus 5 minus k. Okay, see, this one got both minus. So I will suggest that you put it as 2 bracket and do the normal rainbow. B squared minus 4ac more than 0. So let's rainbow. This one times this one, 25. This one times this one, plus 5k, plus 5k, plus k squared, and minus 16. Okay, I'm going to move to this part. Follow the arrow. Hello. Okay, so I will have k squared, 10k, 25 minus 16 will be plus 9. More than 0. So you see this one again is quadratic inequality. So we are supposed to factorize this. So 1, 10 and 9. So I will have k plus 1, k plus 9 more than 0. Okay, draw our diagram. Label, so it's minus 9 and then minus 1. More than 0, shade the corner. So therefore, k is less than negative 9 or k is more than negative 1. Done. Why do computing the square? No, this is quadratic inequality. There's nothing to do with computing the square. Okay, you're trying to solve for discriminant more than 0. So just do the quadratic inequality can already. Can you explain the difference between quadratic inequality and linear inequality again? Linear inequality, it's like, you see, okay, linear inequality, yeah. Versus quadratic inequality. Linear inequality is just like, for example, 2x more than 4. You see the x is to the power of 1, so it's linear. So it's just x more than 4 divided by 2, so it's 2. Okay? Quadratic inequality is you will have like just like what we do now. Like for example, k squared plus 10k plus 9 more than 0. So this is like quadratic inequality because it's k to the power of 2 k squared. So all you need to do is just factorize the left hand side. So factorize this case is using cross method. So I have k plus 1 and k plus 9. And then you have to draw these. And then you will have -9, -1 for this case. And then you shade. Okay, so quadratic inequality, just now I mentioned in the other part here. So quadratic inequality, these are the few things that you need to take note. More than 0, less than 0, as well as making the sad face to become happy face. And then make sure that you change the symbol. So other than that, that's the difference between linear inequality and quadratic inequality. Instead of multiplying -1 throughout, can you factorize -1? Then your is positive. But in the end, your parabola will be downwards facing 1. Is that okay? No. Okay, when you draw the quadratic inequality diagram, always make it happy face. Don't make your life so tough. Okay, so always make it happy face because inequality is just like equation. I can multiply -1 throughout, make it happy face, and then after that, I always draw this diagram. Because you see, if you're going to memorize drawing so many diagrams, which is a bit difficult, you see, nobody draw like that. Nobody draw like that. You understand? For quadratic inequality, you always keep it happy face. Always keep it happy face, can? Random. Let me SS please. Which part? Okay, this one quadratic inequality. More than 0, shade corner. Less than 0, shade in between. Okay? If it's a sad face, change it to happy face. So actually I should say this, sad face, and then change it to happy face by multiplying by -1. And then also please remember to flip your symbol. For more than, I become less than. Okay, so always keep it happy. Just take it always happy. Okay, and then after that, linear inequality versus quadratic inequality. Okay. The solution will be uploaded on the Telegram channel. You all can always refer to it. But not now. To be tomorrow, Sam will be uploading it. Okay? And then if you all want to watch the replay, can go to my YouTube channel and watch the TikTok replay. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. Good. Okay, find the smallest integer value of h for which the graph lies entirely above the line. Okay, so you see the graph lie entirely above the graph. So actually this tells you that 2x squared minus 4x plus h, it is more than 3. Both is y So they're trying to tell you the graph is above 3. So all you need to do is bring the 3 over. So it becomes 2x squared minus 4x plus h minus 3 more than 0. That's all. Okay. And then, wait, let me check one thing. So this is exactly the same. Miss, can you show again how to do the blah 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 again using the calculator? Oh, okay. Wait, Actually, what I did was I used quadratic equation. Technically speaking, factorization, you should be using cross method. Okay? But me, I use shortcut. I use shortcut. So equation, quadratic equation. So my A is 1. My B is 10. My C is 9. So they give me minus 1. So I know the bracket is plus 1. They give me minus 9, so I know the bracket is plus 9. Okay, but by right, you should be using cross method. Cross method should be this. K squared plus 9 plus 10k. So you have k and k, 9 and 1. Because I want to have positive, so this one plus and plus. This one is plus k. This is plus 9k. So 3 columns is correct. So in the end, it is these two brackets. Okay, so the correct way is using the cross method. Okay, I use the calculator is actually by solving quadratic equation. So I just work backwards. Okay, so let's come back to here. Sec 3, AMath. Okay, so see so actually all I need to do is I bring the 3 over, right? And then after that, I need to do is, they are trying to tell you, okay, now the function now is more than 0. This is the same meaning as saying that it is always positive. Okay, and remember just now we have a similar question. Always positive, my discriminant is less than 0 because it did not cut x-axis, there's no roots at all. No real roots, sorry. Then after that, don't forget, it's a happy face. So we have 2 conditions that you need to fulfill. But look at this one, my A is 2, my B is -4, my C is H minus 3. So this one, I don't have to worry about the second condition. Why? Because my A is already more than 0. Just now the previous one, when my A is more than 0, my A involved the K. That's why I need to do one more range. So this is already fulfilled, so this one's settled already. Then I need to find out discriminant less than 0. So you will have to say always positive. So my discriminant is less than 0. Okay? So B square minus 4AC less than 0. Okay, and that will give us 16 minus 8H plus 24 less than 0 minus 8H less than -40. See, this is linear inequality, right? Linear inequality, but take note, I'm going to divide by -8. Remember linear inequality, when you divide by negative, your mouth need to flip. So my H is more than -40 divided by -8. So H is more than 5. But we are not done yet. This question asks you to find the smallest integer value of H that fulfill this range. So all you need to do, why is it less than 0 when it's always positive? Always positive means that your graph does not cut the x-axis. Does not cut the x-axis means that your discriminant is less than 0. Okay, always positive is not saying your discriminant is always positive. You need to get this right. Always positive is your graph is above the x-axis and it does not cut the x-axis. Does not cut means no real roots. And that's why my discriminant is less than 0. Okay, so we are not done yet. So H is more than 5. If I'm going to draw the number line, 5 is here, 4 is here, 6 is here, and H more than 5 is this range. And they want the smallest integer value of H in this range. So you will say, therefore, smallest integer H equals to 6. Because 5 is not included, the next integer is 6, and this is the smallest possible. Okay, of course, student ask me, is it possible that they ask me for the largest integer H? It's not possible. Why? Because this is pointing to the right. The big number is infinity. There's no largest integer for this case. In this case, you only have smallest integer. Unless they point to the other side, then you will say that that is largest integer. Okay? Okay, so we are done with question 5. Let's move on to question 6. And then we will start our rate of change. Okay, over here, a quadratic function fx is given by blah blah blah. Find the value of k such that the graph y equals to fx touch the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight here. When they say touch the x-axis, it's the same meaning as tangent. Okay, touch the x-axis. So this one, okay, it will just be k x minus 2 square minus x minus 3 and x plus 2. So some students ask me, this one is not an equation, and then how? Actually, we are doing an equation. We are doing simultaneous. Equation 1 is the curve, which is y equals to this one. The second equation is the x-axis, and x-axis is y equals to 0. You understand? Okay, so when you do simultaneous of both, it becomes equals to 0. Okay, so actually I'm doing simultaneous for the curve versus the x-axis when my x-axis equation is y equals to 0. Okay, then after that, let's rainbow. Okay, you cannot decide your A, B, C yet. So you have to k x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus x squared plus x plus 6. Okay lah, don't skip step lah. Don't skip. Okay, I don't skip ah. I don't skip. So this is minus, put bracket, x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6 equals to 0. So let's open up everything. Kx squared minus 4kx plus 4k minus x squared. This is minus x. Minus minus means is plus x. Minus minus means is plus 6 equals to 0. From here, we will say that, okay, my x squared, it will be k plus 1. Sorry, k minus 1. See ah? I take out common factor x squared. I left with k minus 1. So that is my A. I take out my x. I have 1 minus 4k. Ayo. Yeah, correct. And then after that, my constant is 4k plus 6 equals to 0. So actually, it's the same concept. The only difference is this time round, you need to massage, you need to manipulate the algebra a bit more. A bit more. Okay. End of the lesson, then I will have the math order. Then we will see how is it. Okay. So, now my A is k minus 1. My B is 1 minus 4k. My C is 4k plus 6. Tangent. So you have to say, okay, because you tell me it's a tangent, my discriminant is equals to 0. So let's continue here. So it will be 1 minus 4k squared minus 4ac equals to 0. Okay, this one I will not do the rainbow. I'll put dot, 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 dot. In the end, you will get k is equals to 25 over 16, which I usually put it in mixed number. So it's 1 whole 9 over 16. Done. Next, they tell me, find the range of k for which the function possesses a maximum point. So if they tell you, okay, the curve is a maximum point, what does that mean? Maximum point means it's a set face, right? This is called a maximum point. And when it's a maximum point, what does that tell you? Your A is less than 0. Because it's a set face, x is less than 0. So if you're not A less than 0. So now come back to here. Look at your this one. My A is this one, correct? K minus 1. Okay, so you will say, therefore, you will say for maximum point, okay, my A must be a set face. My A is less than 0. Therefore, my K minus 1 is less than 0. K is less than 1. Done. This is just the so-called the condition for the set face. So cute. Why got mini speaker one? Thank you for the mini speaker. Okay. So next, this one. They say find the range of values of k for which the value of the function never exceeds 18. So my function is k x minus 2 squared minus x minus 3 x plus 2. They are saying that this function don't exceed the 18, correct? If it doesn't exceed the 18 means that it can be less than or equals to 18 as long as it is not more than 18, right? So my function, they say that the value cannot be more than 18 so that means it is less than equals to 18. So all you need to do is actually rainbow everything and then after that throw everything to the left hand side. So I'm not going to show how to rainbow. Why the guy is being muted? He sent a GIF leh. I never see what he typed. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to show the rainbow. So I'm going to show that I will end up having, let me see, I will end up having 56k minus 47, 0. Okay, so actually what you need to do is just rainbow, expand, and then after bring the 18 over, make right hand side 0, that's all. So 56k, 47, so k is 47 over 56. And that's the answer. Okay, this is Sec 3 AMath. Okay, so I'm done with the quadratic equation and inequality. Okay, as well as also called discriminant is inside lah. So we will continue to the rate of change. Now this is a Sec 4 topic, differentiation application, rate of change. I need to highlight this rate of change is today 3 questions is a bit tough one. Tough as in like most, these are the typical 3 questions that students that always don't know how to do. Okay, so who is ready for rate of change? Who is here waiting for rate of change? Help me to type here or yes. Okay, so that at least I know that there are people who are waiting for rate of change. If nobody respond, means I can pang gang earlier. That means I no need to teach already. I do both EMath and AMath. Where's my topic list? Can't remember where's my order. Oh no, where is it? Okay. What is DMath? Teacher Kangie is not so smart leh. I only know how to do up to O level. Wow, engineering math. Although I studied engineering math in the past but I don't teach engineering math. Okay, let me find something first. I can't remember what's the topic. Sam, can you find out what's the topic for the next Wednesday? Yeah. Or you type out what's the... I cannot find the list. Somewhere in my... What? Thank you for teaching us, by the way. Thank you, no problem. Singapore AMath. Yes, this is Singapore AMath. When will you teach EMath? So you just follow lah. Okay? No, it's totally different. Engineering math and H2 math is no link at all. Okay? Okay, a metal cube. Okay, starting rate of change. A metal cube with sides 2x. Sure, I should start. Okay. Mm is heated. Okay, the sides are expanding at the rate of blah blah blah. So let's do it. So this is a cube. So let's draw out the cube first. So they are saying that the side is 2x, 2x, and 2x. Okay? And they say that the sides are expanding at a rate of 0.05. So they actually give me ds dt is equals to 0.05 mm per second. Okay? Then after that, they say calculate the rate of change of the total surface area. So they want me to find dA dt equals to question mark when the x is equals to 0.57. So for me is I always write out the information that they give me. So they tell me the sides are expanding at rate of change. So I write ds dt. That means I'm letting the side be s. Okay. So ds dt is equals to 0.05. Then they ask me to find the the rate of change of the area. So I write dA dt equals to question mark when x equals to blah blah blah. So always state this out. So you know that you look at these two, you look at the denominator, both is dt, right? So you look at the numerator now, you have s and a. So you know you need to have a formula that relates between a and s. Okay, so let's do it first. First, I talk about the s first. My s is the side. So we know that the s is 2x. Okay, my a over here is total surface area of the cube. So let's find out total surface area of the cube. Okay, my area of one face is s. This is s. So s squared. S squared is one face, correct? S squared is one face. Because cube have 6 face. So you just times 6. So that means my a is equals to 6s squared. So you see now I come up with a formula that relates between a and s. Next, I do dA ds. So we will say dA ds. So differentiate this, it will be 12s. Okay, once we have 12s, next is you need to form the chain. You need to form the chain. So they ask me, this is dA ds. So let me just do it here. You will have something equals to something times something. This is the chain. Okay, the one without dt is always in the middle. So I'm going to put it dA ds is in the middle. Okay, so dA ds is in the middle. Look at the numerator is dA. So that means my left hand side should be dA dt. Then my right hand side will be ds and dt. Okay, then let's fill in a blank and see what we have. dA ds, it is 12s. ds dt we have, which is 0.05. Okay, then now the question is, what is my s? Remember, they asked me to find dA dt when my x is 0.17. I need to sub in s. And what is my s? Remember, my s is 2x. So in here, you will know that your s is actually equals to 2x, which is equals to 2 times 0.57. So 2 times 0.57 is equals to 1.14. So now you're going to sub this 1.14 into here. So it becomes 12 times 1.14 times 0.05, and that will give us 0.684. And because it's area, so it's mm square per second. Done. Okay, so this is how you do rate of change. First, like I mentioned, always write out the information they give me. Then analyze the dt one. Okay, then look at the numerator a and s. So you know that, oh, okay, I need to come up with a formula that relates between a and s. And a for this case is the total surface area. S is for this case is side. So I form it a equals to 6s squared, and then after that I do my dA ds. After I have this dA ds, dA dt, and ds dt, these three components, you're going to put them in chain. Okay, always put the one without dt in the middle first. So dA ds is in the middle. Then look at the numerator, dA. So this side is dA dt. This side will be ds dt. I know some school do flip what become dt ds, but I don't like the flip thing, okay? So I always just put it in this first. And then after that, all I need to do is just like solving equation, bring left and bring right. Don't flip, okay? How you get 12s? Because I differentiate 6s squared. Differentiate 6s squared, bring down the 2 is 6 times 2, 12. And then power minus 1, so it's 12s. Okay, for those who are not good at differentiation, please go to my TikTok live and then go and watch the differentiation for 5 rules. Those 5 rules differentiation is very important for your differentiation life. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Now is a tough question, but this is a commonly asked question. Okay, this is secondary school. This is Sec 3A. Sorry, this is Sec 4A Math differentiation rate of change. I am a private full-time math tutor. Yes, the differentiation rule is on the YouTube. Please go to my bio, click on the second last button, YouTube, and then you can go and find. I don't know which TikTok is it. I believe there's title there. I go and refer to it. Okay. As of date, I already did 30 plus TikTok live already. So don't test me what I have taught for my past TikTok live. Yes, because it's random. Okay. An empty inverted cone has a height of 600 cm. The radius of the top of the cone is 200. Water is poured into the cone at a constant rate. So first is an inverted cone. So inverted cone, you will draw out so that it's easier for you to see. So this is an inverted cone. Don't judge my drawing because I teach math. Not math. Can understand, can already. Okay. They tell me that it has a height of 600. So from here to here, this is 600 cm. They tell me the radius is 200. So put a dot in the center and then state that this is area is equals to 200 cm. So this is the inverted cone. Now they're trying to tell you that water is poured into. This is important. Of course, it's into the cone. Into the cone means that you know that your water is increasing. So whenever your water is increasing, it means that your rate of change is positive. Okay? If they tell you is leak out, then you will know that your rate of change is decreasing. Then you have to put negative value. Understand? So this is into, so we know that the rate of change for the water is positive. So let's continue the question. They say that when the depth of the water in the height is h cm, so I'm going to say, okay, here. So let's imagine that this is your water. Okay, So from here to here, this is the height of the water. And from here to here, it will be the radius. Okay, maybe I can call this R2, this one is R1. So the height, the h is the depth of the water. The R1 is the radius of the water. Okay, and then after that, when the depth of the water in the height is h, find the volume of the water. So you need to form a formula, volume of the water. So volume of the water will be also in the shape of a cone, right? So it will be volume is equals to 1/3 pi r square h. So this is the formula of volume of a cone, 1/3 pi r square h. But if you notice, the question said volume of water in terms of pi and h. So I have an extra area here, agree? So what can you do? Okay, you have to remove the area by replacing it in terms of h. So that's the tough part. So this is going to be using, this is set 4 differentiation rate of change. So how are we going to link a formula that relate between h and r? Is using similar triangle. Okay, similar triangle. No, it's not probably not volume. I mean, of course you have to know the concept of volume of cone and blah blah blah, because all these are taught in AMath. When you do AMath, they already expect you to know everything of your AMath. Okay. So they will not teach about volume again in AMath. They expect you to already know volume of cone, volume of sphere, or whatever, okay? So I'm going to use the similar triangle concept. So it is small over big. So actually this is my area, this is my 200, this is my h, and this is my 600. So small over big. So you will say area over 200 is equals to h over 600. So you are using the similar triangle to form the equation that relates between r and h. And in this one, I need to get rid of my area. So I'm going to make r the subject. So cross multiply, 600r equals to 200h. My area is equals to 200h over 600. And my area will be equals to h over 3. h over 3. Okay, so now I know, oh, so my area is h over 3. So now I can replace it. So now my v is equals to 1/3 pi h over 3 square h. So all I did was I replaced the R with H over 3. Okay? This is important. A lot of students don't know how to relate between the R and H. They see, oh, got R, got H, how? Then they don't know how to differentiate. Because later you need to do dV, dH. Then got one R, that obstacle. Then what do you do? So it's always this concept whereby you need to form another equation that relates between the two alphabets that is fighting. You know, fighting. Then after that, you make that the subject. You don't want R to be there, you make R to be the subject. So this means that you can change the R to become the H. So let's continue to change this. So it will be 1/3 pi H2 over 9 and H. And we write as 1 over 27 pi H cubed. So this is for part 1. Volume is the hard one. Then you have to learn about the volume of the cone and everything. That's a Sec 2 AMath topic. Okay? I also can't remember whether I got do any volume in my TikTok live. You can go and take a look. Should have because last year I did O-level questions. I think I did a lot of volume question also. Okay, so that's only part 1. Let's move on to part 2. Okay, where is it? Here. Prime factorization next. I think I did prime factorization already. I think I did already. Yes, I did. I think it's 2 or 3 live ago. Please go and see my TikTok live. Okay, the water level is rising at the rate of 3 cm per minute when the depth of the water is 120. So let's put down the information that they give me. They said the water is rising. Remember just now the water level is H. So in other words, they actually give me dH dt is equals to 3. And again, it's the word rising, so it's positive. Cm per minute. This is given. They just put it in they just give it in words, then you have to put it in terms of dH dt. Okay? Then when the depth of the water is 120. Okay? When H equals to 120. Okay, just write out whatever they are given to us. Next, because they ask, find the rate at which the water is poured into the cone. So they ask to form dV dt equals to question mark. Hey, hello. I keep seeing a lot of irrelevant stuff inside the chat. Please, if you get muted or get blocked, don't blame me. Okay, dV dt is equals to question mark. How? So we see, remember, we need dV dt. Let's take a look at what we have. We have dV, we have V in terms of H. We are given dH dt. We are asked to find dV dt. Remember, just now we said that, look at the denominator, dt, right? So I need a formula that relates between V and H. Okay, V and H. So over here, I have V in terms of H. V in terms of H. I talk very slow already. I repeat some more. You still need me to talk slower? Don't use your mobile phone to see. So small. You can use desktop to see. You can go to tiktok.com/@teacherkangie_sgmath. From there, you can see my live. It's a bigger screen. You use phone to see. So mini. I don't know how you're going to see, how you're going to learn. Okay, so I have V in terms of H. Agree? So this is good. This question is very kind already because they have a part to ask you to come up with the formula V in terms of H. If they do not give you part 1, okay, if they did not give you part 1, you need to know that you need V in terms of H. Then you will have to go and come up with your V in terms of H. So now, since I'm going to write out my V, my V is equals to 1 over 27 pi H cubed. So I'm going to do my dV dH. dV dH. So bring down the 3. Okay, if it's So it's form 2 means I think it's not suitable for you yet. Oh no, why didn't I know this as this would have been well if I was here earlier. Are you doing O level now? I mean, are you finished your O level already, is it? If you already finished, then too bad. But you can share with your class, you can share with your junior, you can share with your family. Okay, so bring down the 3. See, this is how I differentiate. Bring down the 3. So with 3 times 1 over 27. And that will give us 3 over 27 pi h power minus 1 means is 2. So to simplify this, it is 1 over 9 pi h squared. So you see, now I have my dv dh. So kids, so remember I have said the 3 component. Something equals to something times something. Then okay lah, you still can see ma. Okay. If you're talking about you miss out the test already, it's okay. You can take it as for your mid-year, for your prelim, okay? So now I have my dv dh. Remember I said the one without dt put in the middle. So I'm going to put dv dh over here. Look at the numerator, dv. So that means this side will be dv dt. Okay, I also have TikTok replay. You can go to my YouTube channel. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All my past TikTok live is uploaded there. So here, look at the denominator dh. So this is dh dt. Okay, putting the 3 components in the right place is crucial. Very, very critical. Okay, so now next. Let's see what they want. Okay, because they want dv dt, right? So it's here. So now just fill in the blank for my dv dh, which is 1 over 9 pi h squared times dh dt is 3. Then again, you will be stuck. Then the h how? If you look at the question, remember they say given the result when h equals to 1 to 0. So you need to sub this h here. So then after that, you just solve it. So it becomes 1 over 9 pi 120 squared times 3. So if you simplify this, you get 4800. Take note now. They say in terms of pi. So you cannot press calculator pi. It will give you decimal. So in this case, you means you will do 1 over 9 times 120 squared times 3. It will give you 4008. Then you just add a pi. So since this is dv dt, it means that this one will be cm cube per second. No, not per second. You see, it's per minute. So it's per minute. Done. Okay, I'm giving tuition for free. So because of students students who hate math and always only want to just play with TikTok. Okay, I just want to teach some math so that some students can learn some questions. Of course, I cannot give you everything, right? Of course, again, if you want full attention, you want in-depth, individualized coaching for your tuition, you can always come to me. Okay, but for those who can learn independently, and for those who are only like maybe weak in only few topics, you can just learn some tips through TikTok live. Understand? Okay, let's move on to the last question for the night. Is it night? Evening. So any question? Want to know how much is the tuition? You please go to my bio, click on the first button and find out more. Okay. Yes, go and click follow the page lah. Okay, you will have to schedule a 15 minutes call with me. Not you talk to me, your parent talk to me. Then after that we see how it goes. So now, anyone still have any question for this question 2 before I move on to question 3? This is question 2, which is the inverted cone. So the inverted cone, you have to link it to the similar triangle. Okay, link it to the similar triangle, and then after that to relate between the R and the H. This concept is very important. Okay, then you form V in terms of H. Without any error, it's easy for you to differentiate dV dH. Okay, then after that you need to form the chain, connected rate of change. So put them in a 3 box and put it accordingly. Okay. I already did logarithm 1 or 2 lessons ago. Go and see my TikTok live. I did logarithm. Good. So this is rate of change. Okay, the third, just for warning, the third question for rate of change is tough. This is a question whereby it is not like just now that one. You want to form volume of the cone, so you use volume of the cone, which is dV, V in terms of R and H. Then the tough part is you got 3 alphabet, then how do you do? Then you got to change the R into H. That's the tough part for question 2. For question 3, the tough part is, later you will see that the formula that I relate, okay, your changing subject must be very strong. Okay, making the subject must be very strong. So let's take a look. Question 3. The total surface area of a solid hemisphere is decreasing at the rate of 2 cm square per second. Okay. Maybe I'm COVID positive. No lah. Okay. The total surface area of a solid hemisphere is decreasing. See this? Decreasing. And take note of all those keywords. This is hemisphere and it is a solid hemisphere. So they talk about total surface area and this is cm square per second. So I'm going to write dA dt is equals to, because of the word decreasing, you have to put minus 2 cm square per second. Okay, so take note, this is decreasing, so got to put minus 2. Next, given that the surface area of a sphere of this one very tricky, they're very naughty. Why? Because they give you surface area of a sphere. But you see this question is talking about hemisphere. So this is not the formula that you should use. So students, the common mistake is they go, oh, A equals to 4 pi r square lor. But take note, this is a solid hemisphere. This formula is sphere. So what you need to do is, you need to find the area, which is 4 pi r square. This is the sphere. I'm going to times half, which will give me the hemisphere. But it is a solid. So a hemisphere looks like that. So my 4 pi r square times half is only the curved surface area of the hemisphere. Then you still need to add the pi r square because it is solid. Solid. So it will be plus pi r square. Oops. Don't know whether the student is so sad, get blocked already. Oh yeah. Okay. So to simplify, 2 pi r square plus pi r square is equals to 3 pi r square. I really want to learn about math since I got exam. Good. I don't know just now the CK is whether genuine or what. He got blocked already. So sad. Okay. So now I have A in terms of R, correct? This is my dA, dR. Next, my volume is this one. This one again is volume of a sphere. But remember, this is the hemisphere. So I still need to go and find my V. So it's 4/3 pi r cubed times half. So it will be 2/3 pi r cubed. So now I have a very big question to ask you. Very big question to ask you. So they say find the rate of change of the hemisphere when its radius is half cm. So what are they trying to find? So they want to find the dV dt. They want to find dV dt equals to question mark when radius equals to half. So now my question is, I only have the formula A in terms of R, V in terms of R. Okay, see look at this. Remember I asked you to analyze dA dt, dV dt. So I need a formula that relates between A in terms of V or V in terms of A. But the very bad news is, who is that Salaka? Can you please block this person? If you are not interested to learn here, please swipe away, okay? Please don't disturb me teaching in this channel. Thank you very much. So, V in terms of A or A in terms of V. But the bad news is, I only have A in terms of R or V in terms of R. So, what do we do? Okay, so what do we do? Cannot see me? Wait, let me put down a bit. Can you hear me? Can everybody respond? Because people cannot see the question, cannot hear me. So can you please tell me whether can you see the question, can you hear me or not before I continue? The don't know what, your auntie 5,000, I think it's a problem with your mobile phone or whatever lah. So everyone can hear except you, so I'm going to ignore you. Okay. So let's continue. So now the question is, I have to make a formula that links between A and V. So what is the trick? What is the trick? The trick is, look at the common one. Okay, I'm going to circle my A in terms of R, my V in terms of R. So the only way to link it is, what is common between them? The common is the alphabet R. Okay, the common is alphabet R. So let's say this one. Okay, I'm going to shift up to here so that no space here. I am going to make use of one of them to make R the subject. So I'm going to write here A is equals to 3 pi R squared. So I'm going to make R the subject. So R squared is equals to A over 3 pi. My R is equals to A over 3 pi square root. So now you see, I have my R in terms of my A. Agree? So now I can sub this into my V. So my V is equals to 2/3 pi R cube. So this R, put it inside, square root A over 3 pi. So now I have a formula which is relate between V and A. Understand? So this is how you do. I repeat. Remember I said rate of change, always analyze what formula you need. They give me dA dt. They ask me to find dV dt. So I need to have a formula that relates between V and A. After I analyze the hemisphere, blah, 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 I have A in terms of R. I have V in terms of R. So you need to find out, okay, the common between these two is my R is common. So make use of one of them to make R the subject. So it is okay that you want to take your V, make R the subject and sub it into A. It doesn't matter. Okay, I just thought that it's R squared, you see. R squared. R squared is easier than R cubed. So I'm going to just make use of the A. So after I make R the subject, I sub this into my V. So now I have V in terms of A. So now the next thing is, you need to massage it a bit so that later it will be easier for you to differentiate your dV, dA. Now it's still not nice to differentiate. So my V is equals to 2/3 pi. Square root, remember, it is to the power of half. So I'm going to put A over 3 pi. Half times 3 is 3 over 2. Again, this is still not so nice to differentiate. So I need to split it. 2/3 pi is the constant. Take a look. This one, I will have a 1 over 3 pi to the power of 3 over 2. A to the power of 3 over 2. Do you see that? What I did was, I split out and put out the constant and put it outside. So 1 over 3 pi to the power of 3 over 2 is constant. I put it here. So from here to here, it is actually just number. Yeah, this is differentiation rate of change. Okay, so then after that, this one I put a to the power of 3 over 2, so that later will be easier for us to differentiate. Okay, all good. Do you see how do you see how I come up with the formula V in terms of A now? Can I move on to differentiate now? Can I move on to complete the question? I already have my crucial V in terms of A. Yeah, this is a hard question. That's why I really warn you all, this is a tough question, but it will come out. Good. Let's continue. Sorry for the ugliness. I have a lot of arrow here, arrow there. Okay, I'm going to do it on full sketch. Okay, I'm going to do it here, do it here. Okay, good. Okay, now let's continue. How do you bring the A out of the bracket? Yeah. Because this is A. Okay, first. Square root is to the power of half. Half times 3 is 3 over 2. So it's A 3 over 2, right? So I just A 3 over 2, I put it here. Because this is at the numerator, and the 1 over 3 pi, 3 over 2, I put it outside here already as the constant. Okay, let's move on. So now my V equals to 2/3 pi 1 over 3 pi alright, and that's so far away. 3 over 2 A 3 over 2. So now I can do my dV dA. So my dV dA, simply bring down the power, right? 3 over 2 times this whole thing. So 3 over 2 times this whole thing, 2 over 3 pi, 1 over 3 pi, 3 over 2, A, power minus 1. So it will be half. Okay, can understand how I differentiate? All I did was I bring down the 3 over 2 down. So 3 over 2 multiplied by this whole constant. Then this one power minus 1. 3 over 2 minus 1 is half. Then I'm going to simplify this by keying this whole thing to the calculator. So let's see. 2/3. Okay, I key this first. 2/3. I already explained prime factorization in my previous live. Not previous live. Please go to my TikTok live and see whether, go and find the prime factorization. So 2/3 pi bracket 1 over 3 pi close to the power of 1.5. Wait. Alamak, I should times 2/3 first. Sorry, times 3 over 2. So I get 0.10857. 2/3 pi, let me see whether I key correctly or not. Yes, okay. Then let's move on. Okay, so now we are ready to form our chain. Okay, so we have our dV dA, put out the 3 component box. dV dA will be in the middle. dV dt will be on the left hand side. dA dt will be on the right hand side. So let's take a look. dA dt is given -2, so this one is multiplied by -2. dV dA, I have it here, which is okay, take note this I still have an A. So what is the A? Let me see. Remember they asked me to find at error equals to half. So at error equals to half, what is my A? My A is 3 pi r squared. So it's 3 pi r squared. So it's 3 pi r squared. That will give us 3 pi over 4. So my A is this one. So this 3 pi over 4, sub it over here. So it will be 0.10857 3 pi over 4 to the power of half. Okay, what I did was I just sub the r equals to half equals into the A, and that A will sub it into here. That's my dVdA. So press calculator again. So 0.10857 3 pi over 4 to the power of half. So it will give me 0.16665. Here will be 0.16665 times negative 2. So I will have negative 0.3333. So round it off to 3SF, negative 0.333. Volume, so it is cm cubed per second. Done. How you get from the first step to the second in full step? Differentiation. So actually the differentiation is the same as this. Let me just explain. This is the first rule of differentiation. Thanks for the rows. Okay, you see, if I have V is equals to 5A2. V equals to 5A2. How do you differentiate this? So I want to dVdA. I will bring down the 2. So 2 times 5, right? 2 times 5. Power minus 1, so 2 minus 1, so it's 1. So in the end, I get 10A. So this is how I differentiate. Correct? It's just rule 1. So this is the same thing. You need to identify that pi is actually number. Okay? So this whole thing is actually number. Okay? And then my variable A to power 3 over 2 is on this side. So when I want to differentiate with respect to A, I bring down the power 3 over 2. So that's why it's in front here. Multiply by whatever is in front, the constant. So I put it inside the square bracket. Then the A, the power, I minus 1. So 3 over 2 minus 1, I get half. That's how I get from my first line to second line. How? 1, 1, 1, 1. Do you understand how I differentiate? Oh, good. So this is the so-called tough question of rate of change. So always remember when you do rate of change. Okay? Good. So always remember that when you do rate of change, where's my question? Yeah, here. Always list down what they give you, what they want, when what. Write out the information. Analyze the two components. Then you will know what kind of formula you need. And always take note of the word. Whether is it increasing, decreasing. Because if it's decreasing, you must always put in your negative. Okay? Other than that, that's all for today.